That was impressive. On the spot. Thousands of people watching. Millions even. Hello, bam, we're live. Good morning.
Millions and millions of people.
The greatest. Good to see everyone. Twitter, one of our Twitters, the Sevon Pod. We never even got into the Sevon Podcast Twitter account, huh? We don't even know the.
No, not the 7, but I think it goes to yours every time, which is the only one that people watch from too.
Oh, good.
Did you know that Instagram tells you everybody who's like deactivated their accounts now?
What do you mean? Explain that to me.
Like it's just deactivated accounts. So like if you deactivated your account, it just shows that.
Oh.
Like people that you follow, yeah, like it popped up in my thing. It was like all these are deactivated, and so you could just like click it and then just like remove it. Kind of weird.
I wonder how many. They should tell you how many deactivated people follow you, so you know how many of your followers are just bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's funny because some of them I recognize. I'm like, oh, that's why I haven't seen that person on Instagram.
Hey, my
Interesting.
first Instagram account,
Yeah.
the one that I lost, 50% of my followers were from India.
50%.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
That means they're all bots?
That means you're just popular in India, dude. That's what I.
They're bot. I mean,
Yeah, I think so. Because sometimes like you'll
this is
see
like
somebody.
5 years ago. I haven't had my account for like 5 years, probably 4 years,
Yeah, it's
5
been a
years
minute. It got
since
deleted. It got
2021 or
yeah,
22,
it got booted right up, like right starting the podcast. I think we got like the
right at
last.
COVID.
Yeah, the last big
Oh,
guest we got was Bet David, and then it got
that's right,
booted.
because I used to be able to get big guests with it.
Yeah, it was when you earned the check mark, not just bought it.
Yeah. Hey, do the people who earned it get it? Are they grandfathered in?
I don't think so, but that's a great question.
Everyone pays.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like this setup.
Yeah, I've
Just
seen it.
just here in the prison cell. Your people, nah, not so much. But like I spent a lot of time in India and I really liked it. Like I really, 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 really liked it. You have to be really careful what you eat there.
Oh man,
More so than South America. More so than South America. You got to be real careful. They got a different stomach lining than us.
Just looking, our setup does look nice. We look good on this right now.
Yeah. What is your shirt? Is that a golf brand, Phoenix?
No, it's a gym in Michigan, Ohio.
Oh, is it one of Schindeldecker's gyms?
One of the people that they do the juvenile hall program with, in the state of Ohio, I went with the gym owners there and met with Homeland Security Department of Special Programs.
And I just got it. It's the Ebonics spelling of Phoenix.
Yeah,
like if you went to school in Compton, actually anywhere in the States.
They have a really cool gym. They have a chandelier in their gym.
Is that really what it is?
It's the no, I don't know why
phonetic?
they
Did I say Ebonics? Sorry, how rude
You
of me.
did.
No, I meant phonetics.
Yeah, I went there in October of last year. Let's see. Remember when I gave the pitch to the
No, actually, Sevon, it's Latin. You
state?
dumbass. Yeah, I do remember that. That was crazy.
Yeah, with just drawings on a whiteboard, huh?
Is that a touchscreen? POS people of POS? No.
Color?
No. You know what? I don't know. I don't know who makes this, but it's a really portable little screen. I think I got it through Instagram.
This one?
Yeah, I think me, Souza, and Caleb all got them. It's just really easy to travel with, and it's so easy to get going. You just plug it in. I don't know what the brand is. You could zoom in on the back there, I guess. It's called Satsu, SOTSU.
Gosh, I cannot find my.
What we really need is a bigger screen. We need a portable 24-inch screen, like starts at $3,000.
Wow, that's a but that big like curved one or something.
Just a portable that like they just make a 24-inch screen that's got a handle on it. That's a suitcase. It's pretty small. They sell it at B&H. It starts at like $3,000 and goes up to $7,500 depending on how good you get. But it's 24 inches. Wouldn't a 24-inch screen be nice?
That would be pretty massive.
Or even two of these.
I mean, I'd have to like really lean over and look at it. Oh, look at this. This was the inside a rest stop in Ohio State. I remember to take a picture of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It says opioid overdose supplies.
Yeah, it was inside a bathroom. I bet you it's just Narcan and shit.
I slept like absolute shit last night.
You did?
Yeah. Because of the rains. I did. Oh, that's nice.
Awesome, Phoenix. Yeah, those are all the people from Homeland Security.
I saw Josh Murphy in there.
And look at their gym.
Wow, it looks like a bar.
Yeah, it was like a brand new gym. Hey, we had Jay Bhattacharya on. Their bathroom had all the games athletes.
Wait, we
like,
have Jay Bhattacharya scheduled to come on again?
no, it
Oh,
just was at that same exact time.
oh.
So people could see it. It's pretty cool.
So yesterday I was at the event. I got there on an empty stomach. I had a rain, and it kind of gurgled me a little bit. Like my stomach did like a gurgle,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ate, and then I had another rain, probably like it. Oh, right when we went on the air. When was that? 5 o'clock? 6
Yeah,
o'clock. At 6.
6.
6 on the button.
Yep.
And then we worked the event, and then we came home. We stayed up till 11 and did that ridiculous podcast.
Yep.
And basically, was just sitting in the room with Taylor and Bryson while they farted.
Yeah.
And diddled you.
That,
That diddle
right.
segment was crazy.
That was aggressive. I felt violated.
By the way, I never use that move like that.
No one does.
Oh, okay.
I mean, nobody.
That's just kind of the international symbol for diddling.
Yeah.
Okay, but no one.
I mean, I don't think anybody enjoys that, guy or girl.
And then
I was looking to see if there's comments on it right now, but there's not.
And then everyone went to bed. Me and you packed up the podcast.
Yep.
Jenny helped pack it up, and then we lugged it downstairs, and then I just climbed right into bed, and I just couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah, I actually couldn't go to sleep either. I slept good once I went to sleep, but it was definitely took a while. I had a lot of rain energy drinks too.
Yeah, did you have more than 2?
No, I just had 2. I had one when we first got there, just like how you did, and then I had
Yeah.
one like before we went on the air. But it took a minute to kick in. Like at the end of that broadcast, I was like fired up.
Yeah, that was wild. And then in bed, remember that the guy we had on who holds the world record for breath holds 29 minutes?
Yep.
When I was doing research on him, there was some bunch of different breathing exercises that was coming across just researching him.
Mhm.
And there's this one where you breathe in and then you breathe out, and when you're done exhaling, you don't breathe for 10 seconds.
Mm.
And I did that. I did 5 rounds of that until I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my head from those 10-second holds. And then I fell asleep. I don't know why I tried that one, but
Don't those breath holds like that wake you up?
I don't know. That one put me to sleep though. It just really calmed me down. But I know that I was sleeping very lightly.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the night, the boys are sleeping in a bunk bed in the room next to Haley and I in the middle of the night, and it's really low. You know, those really low bunk beds.
Mhm.
In the middle of the night, I heard Ari crying. I heard a boom, and then he was crying. So I jumped up and went into his room, and he had sat up really fast and bonked his head.
Oh man, that is not a fun time to wake up. Hey, do you ever do the box breathing, where you slow your breathing down to 3 breaths a minute?
No.
So it's like inhale, like through your belly up into your chest for a 4-second inhale, then you hold it 4 seconds, breathe all the way out 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds.
Oh,
It's like the box breathing.
No, but I've seen people do that.
Yeah, like
talk about that. Should I try that?
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I do it. Yeah, it helps like calm me down before stuff. Like if I start to get antsy or get nervous or something.
Would you do that like before you spoke to the lieutenant governor of Ohio?
Yeah, I'll do it before I speak at Affiliate Con at the end of October. If anybody wants to go, you guys should go. Dallas, Texas.
Oh, I was like, are you going to Europe?
No, that's the Coaches Congress.
Oh God, there's a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Who puts on the Affiliate Con?
Best hour of the day, guys.
Oh, I think I saw that speaking list of people.
It's crazy. And
it is crazy.
Yeah, and what they got is like they got like keynotes from a couple people, and I didn't realize this at first, but when they went over it, it actually sounds like a great idea. So they got like keynotes for people where you sit and go, and then they have different like specific things you'll go to listen to at like one time. So then you get to choose, but it repeats throughout the weekend. So eventually you get to go. So like my whole thing is going to be on like media for like your affiliates and stuff, or for your affiliate, or for like coaching and stuff like that. The one that I did over at Proven did well. People seemed to really enjoy it. We gave away like a whole freebie thing of like how to do everything I talked about afterwards. And yeah, so they gave me the opportunity to speak over there.
So it kind of reminds me of the CrossFit Games in 2008. They have all the workouts going, and eventually at the same time, and all the athletes just rotate around and do them.
Yeah, that's
so Jason Kalipa, Chris Hinshaw, Jason Fernandez, Kelly Starrett, some guy named Max Isaac, Nicole Christensen, E.C. Sinkowski, Jake Lockhart. I was going to say Brian Friend, but it's Matt Torres. Matt Torres, David Osario, Joel Cochran, Nicola Coyne, David Newman, Jeff Martin. Wow, from Brand X. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Eric Hinman. That's like a guy who just sells shit on Instagram. You know,
I don't know if I'm familiar with him. Maybe I am.
if you saw him, you'd see him. I just see him just selling shit on Instagram.
Okay.
Like fitness equipment and protein snacks and shit like
Okay.
that. I was just
Mac Isaacson went from CrossFit New England and opened up like I think a couple of gyms called like Tilt, CrossFit Tilt.
oh, okay.
Yeah, good dude.
Adam Carroll, the shred method. Nicole Torres, don't know who that is. Vaughn Vernon, affiliate guard. He looks like Latinos for Trump. Look at this dude.
That's amazing.
Doesn't he look like? Do you know that Instagram account?
Yes,
Latinos
I know
for
exactly.
Trump?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Wow.
Wow, Adam Carroll looks very professional.
This is Eric Hinman.
Oh, okay. Yep, I know that dude.
Like he's got his equipment out in the snow and shit.
Yeah.
Jeremy Thiel, been around forever. Jason Layden, been around forever. Christy Novak, I don't know who that is. Nathan Bird, Dustin Bosher, Streamfit, Pamela Gagnon. We had her on.
Yep, gymnastics specialty.
Brendan Rice from Wodify.
Yeah.
Cody Looney, Nick Reyes, John Rizwa, Nadia Shatila. She's still working at CrossFit HQ.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Lisa Ray, Denise Thomas, Katie Hayes. I don't know who that is either.
No, they didn't put me on the list.
No, you're not on there.
Damn. I swear I'm going, people.
Yeah, that's wild. And half of those people have canceled. So Susan's replaced someone on there.
We had a meeting on there like a couple days ago, and it was funny because I was like the only one that asked questions.
Oh,
because they were like, yeah, and I was like, can we bring our own like camera people? Like, can you give us a breakdown of what's gonna look like? And I was like, because the big thing is like, if I'm gonna stand in front of like especially a group of people, like in a live audience, you have for me in order to feel like I actually like made an impact, you have to like walk away and be able to be like, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z now because I learned it or something like that, right? So I'd asked him, I was like, hey, how interactive like can this be? And he's like, honestly, you'll just be in a smaller room. That's why we did it that way, so you could actually get up there and
like 20 or 30 people or something.
Yeah, or you could like make it like back and forth. And one of the things I realized when I did the one over at Proven was that people had like more questions than necessarily me talking, so I could kind of like lay out a premise of stuff and then go like specific into hopefully being able to help answer some of their questions. And so that's gonna be the point of this. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt Burns, she's an OG. Matt, I decide who's OG or not. Just so you know. Judy Reed, Souza, I've seen you listed somewhere. Okay.
Yes, I was definitely listed in one of the like the recents that they put in on Instagram. I think the list on the website's been made a while ago. Thank you, Judy, for validating me though.
All right. Yeah. Very, very nice. Very sweet of you. Judy.
Yeah, she's making me feel whole.
I want to start by saying we absolutely know 100% that there has never been more censorship, at least in my lifetime, that I've been aware of than during the Biden administration. And two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, clearly we know that the medical censorship was absolutely fucking insane, and millions of people are going to die because of that. Have died, will die. The experiment's going to take 50 years to completely play out for what happened during COVID, and the fact that our kids can't go to school unless they take government mandated drugs. They close parks. We couldn't go to restaurants. All the mask rules, dragging people out of the ocean.
Crazy.
All the crazy shit that we saw go down. There's no issue with there. I'm not, by no means this next piece am I defending the fucking libtards at all, not even a tiny bit.
You're defending free speech though.
But one of my favorite libtards ever of all time is a guy named Michael Schellenberger. I can't even believe he's a Democrat. He's probably one of my most favorite reporters of all time. Him and Talibi are the ones who, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, Elon gave him all the back end access, and they were able to uncover. It was something that were like 60 employees of the CIA who were working at Twitter, They gave Twitter several $1 million a year, and they were basically just going through and fucking banning people for saying shit like exercise, right?
Yeah.
Or, hey, have you considered taking ivermectin or any of that shit?
Yeah.
And we know the government was crazy suppressing shit. All of that's out, and we know Fauci's on the take. He's still collecting royalties for patents he has around protocols for COVID and just all that crazy shit. But Michael Schellenberg is a straight shooter. And I want to read to you what he put on Twitter in regards to the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, because he's a protector of the Constitution. He says the First Amendment protects our right to say hateful and wrong things and prohibits the government from infringing upon our ability to do so. The exceptions to this are extremely rare. This really shouldn't be so hard to understand. And what it says here in this article that he posts, it's from it's the National Rifle Association of America versus Maria T. Vullo. Government officials cannot attempt to coerce private parties in order to punish or suppress views that the government disfavors. Now, by the way, one of the things the Biden administration did during COVID is they sicked the IRS on Taibbi and Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberg. They fucked their worlds up.
Oh, wow.
For pushing back and
weaponized the IRS against them.
Yeah, crazy weaponized the IRS.
Yeah.
Schellenberg's Twitter. Let me pull up the whole. Let me see if I can pull up the whole. How do I get to the entire post? But there's a great discussion here. How do I pull up the entire post, the entire thread? Oh shit! I'm reporting to you from Brazil, where dramatic series events are underway. Brazil is on the brink. I wonder what's going on there.
On the brink of what? Oh, thank you, Judy. She sent me the photo of me. Not of me, but of my name. It's very nice of you.
I want to find the. Is this it?
Does he have evidence of the government?
No, he doesn't have evidence, but he's saying that basically that there needs to be an investigation of what the FCC, how the FCC was involved in the Jimmy Kimmel show coming down. And he says there is no evidence yet. So basically, while I look for it, I'll kind of tell you the story. The smoking gun is this: that basically there were these affiliates, I think the ABC affiliates, and there was a guy who owned 23 affiliates, and he basically said, "Hey, I'm not putting the Jimmy Kimmel show on any of my on any of my channels anymore." He totally has the right to do that,
Okay.
to show it on any of my affiliates. At the same time, I think that, or maybe he had 39 affiliates. Whatever the number of affiliates, I think he had 23 affiliates, which was 39% of
the affiliates.
It was 39% of there's some regulation that the FCC has that you can only own so many affiliates.
Okay.
Something like that. And it's like you can only own like 39% of the affiliates. The spirit of what I'm saying is correct. I don't know if it's exactly like this. And basically he wants to buy another company and acquire more affiliates, and the FCC is saying, "Hey, that's too many," but they're going to waive that for him.
Interesting.
And so there is some concern that he's in bed with the FCC and the government because no one should own that much. I can't believe I can't find it.
So he was able to bypass some loophole to have like a majority ownership.
He hasn't bypassed it yet, but it sounds like it's going to happen. There's going to be a vote on it soon. Damn, damn, how come I can't find it? Oh, I'm back too far. When did he post that? Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Posted on. How do I know when this is posted? September 18th. How do I get to this actual post? Oh, I found it. It's right there. And then how do I open up this post? Do you know how I open up this, see the comments to this post?
Read replies.
Click there.
Oh, now I gotta log in. Oh man. I'll just be doing stuff on Gemini, so I sound really smart on this episode.
Oh yeah, I'm not even fucking logged in. God damn it.
Yeah, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, is an independent federal agency that is part of the U.S. government. Its relationship with the government is defined by its role as a regulator, structure, and oversight. So in case you didn't know, now you know. While the FCC has broad authority, its actions are subject to judicial review.
923-264.
Man.
923-264.
Some words I get like tongue-tied, like shoulder girdle. It's so hard for me to say that I have to like slow it down.
Speech therapy.
Courts can overturn its decision if they are found to be arbitrary, unlawful, or unconstitutional, which provides another check on its power.
I think I'm signed in now. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. I'm not at home.
It's okay. I educated him on the FCC. So.
Thank you. So he basically said, if it's true that there are political broadcasting rules, equal time provisions, reasonable access for candidates, none of those applied in the Jimmy Kimmel situation. I agree. We don't know if any role of the government had in the decisions by ABC and Nexstar, but the appearance of influence is enough to raise the alarms. Nexstar is the company that owns all of the affiliates. And then someone says, hey, let's not rethink the First Amendment. Leading free speech scholar pushes back against widespread claims that peer-to-peer misinformation on the internet justifies government intervention. These two things can be true at the same time. We should denounce the dehumanization of Charlie Kirk or anyone, and the government should not demand censorship. And then he goes, also bad, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer demand Fox take Tucker Carlson off the air reporting January 6th. And you know, like once I said, I'm not absolving the left for the fucking horrible censorship that we went through at all. But we also don't want to do that.
No.
We don't want to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Did he have the lowest ratings of any late night talk show? Yes. Was the show supposedly hemorrhaging money? Yes. Was he saying things that broke the rules on FCC airwaves? Quite possibly. Not in this particular incident, but in other incidents. This was a bad decision so someone says, guys, it was literally June 2024 when the Supreme Court ruled that it was okay for the Biden administration to pressure tech platforms to censor COVID lockdown skeptics. No one tweeting today about the dire threats to free speech had anything to say about it. But two wrongs don't make a right. And Michael Schellenberg says, yes, this was a bad decision on a badly argued case. That one's political opponents are hypocrites on speech should not be taken as permission to be equally hypocritical, and yet for many people it apparently is. Some guy wrote, yeah, but Jimmy Kimmel was in clear violation of FCC regulations. He ran an unprofitable show with declining ratings. Then in a time when the country was in mourning, he claimed the victim was essentially responsible for his own assassination. And it says here, this is the FCC rules. The rule prohibits broadcast licensees or permittees from broadcasting false information concerning a crime or a catastrophe. The licensee knows this information is false, so you could report on it if you didn't know it was false. So I guess that's what gets them away with all the COVID shit.
Because they were like, oh, we didn't realize that it wasn't harmful, wrong information. We thought we were doing the good thing.
Yeah, I guess you could argue that. It is foreseeable that broadcast of the information will cause substantial public harm. You can't do that. Broadcast of the information does, in fact, directly cause substantial public harm. And then what harms were knowingly caused? Do you think we should count hurt feelings? No, we should not count hurt feelings.
No, you can't do that because then who gets to make that rule up? My feelings are hurt all the time.
Yeah.
I misread comments and my feelings get hurt.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. True, but if you say hateful and wrong things while working for a company that holds an FCC license to not violate public interest, that company can choose to suspend you or fire you. If he were saying these things on a platform he personally owned, it would be a different story. So that's the thing I keep thinking about, right?
Yep.
So I remember when the New York Times article came out, the Rosa told some of the staff, "Hey, this guy needs to resign," and then they eventually fired me, even though it was nothing that they said in there was true, but it was his right to fire me.
Right.
And then I could go on YouTube and try to do my own thing. And Tucker Carlson did the same thing. He
Yep.
was fired from Fox. He did not have declining ratings.
No.
He was the biggest show on Fox.
Yeah.
And he was fired and he pivoted.
Yep.
And also the irony here is, once again, two wrongs don't make a right. But the irony is that Charlie Kirk was on Rumble because of the censorship on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But
then I just read in the what the all-knowing AI told me. Essentially, what they were saying is that like there was claims of him like going against the FCC rules, but ultimately it came down to Carr's decision because he owned the affiliates. So it was an internal corporate decision.
Did he own the affiliates, or was Carr the one who's in charge of Nexstar?
That's a great question. I could ask about that, but it
Oh
just
no, not sorry. That's the same thing. Did Carr own Nexstar and own the affiliates, or did he work for the FCC? I think Jimmy Carr was I think he's head of the FCC, and I think that's where it gets crazy, because I think he works for the government and he works for Trump.
Yeah.
And so I think he was saying some things that basically, I think I don't know this for a fact, but I think I heard him say stuff like, "Hey, if ABC doesn't take care of Jimmy Kimmel, we will." He was saying like some mafioso type shit like that.
So it's Brendan Carr, and he is the chairman, the FCC chairman.
Yes.
Brendan Carr does not own Nexstar or Sinclair Broadcasting. These are publicly traded companies with their own corporate leadership and shareholders.
Yeah, I think he said some dumb shit. I think he was doing some bullying from his position.
However, there is a very important and direct relationship between these companies and the FCC. The FCC has major influence over their business operations and future growth. The context is crucial to understanding the controversy. Critics of the cancellation argue that the FCC chairman's public condemnation of Jimmy Kimmel's comments was a direct use of his regulatory power to pressure companies like Nexstar and Sinclair.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly what I heard, but I was kind of surprised to hear it come out of his mouth.
Yeah, Carr didn't need to own the companies; he just needed to control the regulatory levers that they depend on.
It's just like the way the FBI and the Biden administration were bullying Facebook. If you believe Mark Zuckerberg, who sounded like a complete pussy on Rogan.
Yeah, that situation is so weird with the Zuckerberg. I mean, not to get too far off it, but it's like, do you think that in the sway of public opinion, when they were like, "Wow, Mark, you are looking bad, dude. Let's," but the only thing that I would believe that it wasn't was because he actually did jujitsu. But like, how far do you think somebody like that would be willing to go to change their image?
He went on the surf foil in the ocean, was holding the American flag. He did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He cornered for like a big UFC championship.
Right.
He went on Rogan.
Yeah.
So like, you're wondering like, how much of it was true, or how much was it that he was trying to rehabilitate his image?
Yes, because now that it's rehabilitated, how much of that do you see now?
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen him like post a picture. Well, I don't follow him closely, so I could be completely wrong. But like, if you're really into jujitsu,
yeah,
and you like make your way up the ladder,
and he showed up at a local tournament that my kids were at, and fought at a local tournament that we were at. Yeah,
great photo op.
Yeah,
and so,
but it's just it was a podunk. I mean, it was like, I mean, he's a pretty big dude to show up at a tournament.
Totally.
Pretty famous dude. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, a lot of pictures would be taken. A lot of people would talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what the criticism's coming from with Carr. It's like he basically like waved his finger at it and said, "Wow, someone should really handle this. Otherwise, there might be an issue." And then
it would be just like if the IRS said something like, "Yeah, we have suspicion," right after you said something that the administration didn't like, and the IRS was like, "We need to look into so and so."
Yeah, seems a little. Timing seems a little weird.
As a free speech expert, you actually know that broadcasters are held to a higher standard than common citizens. Jimmy Kimmel didn't speak an opinion. He presented a lie as a fact, in which triggered the FCC to issue a warning. The network could have had him issue a retraction. Jimmy Kimmel broke rule number 1. He knew better, or should have. He implied the shooter was one of their own. Yeah, but it says the licensee knows this information is false. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel knew the information was false. He's pretty stupid.
And at the same time too, because didn't you say earlier like his ratings were in the tank, or maybe that was a comment that I read?
Crazy in the tanks. I was looking crazy. Like he was at like less than about 1/6 of his ratings from 2 years back.
So like, how much do you think that it's like a moment where he might use some sensationalism or some inflammatory comments just to get more eyeballs too? Like, it's not. I don't put that above any of those people.
Right.
Right. Like you see this opportunity.
Stir the base, get eyeballs, do say some viral shit.
Yes, and now all of a sudden everybody's talking about him, and in this case,
he should release a sex tape. He should release a sex tape.
I don't know if anybody. I don't know if that would work for him. That would work for him unless it was another guy.
Hey guys, this is very easy to understand. In Kimmel's case, he was fired by a company, not the government. We know that,
Right.
but was the government, waving its finger enough to scare the company? He's also not being arrested or killed for saying stupid shit. Just fired. It happens. Not everyone is meant to have a talk show. Also, yeah.
I mean, look at Howard Stern now. He says dumb shit all the time, and his stuff's going down the tank.
Yeah, his ratings have. Yeah. I heard they've been cut in half. Caller, hi.
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, dude? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Go again. Even the new Roadcaster is having problems. This is a brand new Roadcaster. Number 10. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, what's up? It's Tom Kieran. How's everybody doing?
Hey, great. How are you, brother?
What's up, Tom?
Thanks for calling.
Good. It's been a minute. Yeah, I was just calling, obviously, with this Charlie Kirk stuff. So you know me. I'm a diehard Christian, like a true believer.
Me too.
Like Rosie and them. Yeah, I know you, bud. I heard you say some stuff about Candace. I haven't had a chance to catch all your live shows, but I thought you had to call it and I had a couple minutes. So I want to hear just your 10,000 foot view take. Like, what do you guys think is going on right now? Because I have a perspective. I'm kind of deeply ingrained in the Christian right culture. Yeah. But I'm just curious what you guys think is going on from a 10,000 foot view right now.
Well, dude,
like why Charlie died and why are people responding the way they are?
I think 100% he was killed because he's Christian. 100%. I don't. Someone in the comments the other day said that we're a secular nation. We are not a secular nation. That's just a ruse to give all the fucking losers who can't accept Christianity in Jesus for the freedoms that he gave everyone in the planet, no matter what religion you are. We are a country built on the foundation of how Jesus freed the Jews from the Old Testament, and that is what we are today. All our shit's based on that. And no one has been able to convince me of different, which means we're not secular. And then Charlie Kirk was shot, and I think he was shot because he was Christian. I think for some reason people just get so pissed off when whatever image they hold of God in their head, whatever story they're telling themselves really pisses them off. I think he was killed by a psychopath, mentally ill tranny. And I think Candace Owens was going down the rabbit hole being like, nope. And I thought she was batshit crazy. And she said a bunch of shit, like she knew Charlie Kirk, and she was like best buddies with him. And then they debunked that on Patrick Bet David. But here's the fucked up part, because the pages keep turning. Patrick Bet David supposedly had someone who's on the board for Turning Point USA, and he said, Charlie, she hasn't spoke at an event since 2015. Charlie didn't even talk to her. He wanted to distance himself from her crazy shit. And then yesterday, I saw some clips. I haven't watched the whole podcast, but she came out and was like, hey, guys, I was on the 2024 tour, and I spoke at 6 Turning Point events. And that guy's not really on the board. He's just an honorary member. And now she's like perseverating on where the fuck is the exit wound and where's that footage from that camera in the back. And so I think now I'm back on her side again. I went from she's batshit crazy to like, oh shit, okay, someone answer her questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tom, I'm curious about your take though.
So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm all over the place.
People like
minute to minute, I'm going back and forth. I'm like, oh shit.
This is why people like me love you though, Sevan, because you're actually open. You're not like fake open. You're like actually open to asking questions. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My perspective is similar in terms of where you're at right now from following the fact pattern.
Yeah.
But a little bit of background about my involvement with the political Republicans. I started the Chesterton High School Campus Conservatives at my high school when I was 16 years old. And I've been involved.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I actually worked for Vice President Pence's reelection campaign when he was the governor of Indiana for a summer before he was nominated. Like, I've been involved in this stuff since Tucker was the goofy guy with a bow tie who did spots on Fox News. Like, I remember all these people when they were nobody coming up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And when you see what has happened, so Eric Bolling is a nutcase. The guy who went on PBD, he's a ousted Fox News guy, used to be on the 5. He looks like he's on drugs or something. That guy's got something wrong with him. He's
I thought he looked like Grant Cardone. I kept thinking it was Grant Cardone.
He did, yes. He's transitioning. He's transitioning from yeah. So I come from a traditional Christian perspective. I got really saved when I was like 21 years old. And I've always been a conservative at heart, and I've always had more conservative governing philosophy about how the government should be. But I never really questioned allegiance to Israel because I kind of had this whole connection in my brain of is the nation of Israel to the government of Israel to God's chosen people in the Holy Land. You know, it's a very emotional thing for a Christian to think about, like, Jesus walked here, you know, like, yeah. And then like half of the promises in the Bible are literally to Abraham, who became Israel, right? Like, he was the nation of Israel. So it's kind of complicated from that perspective. But the more that I just start asking fact-based questions and then people start freaking out about it, it just makes me itch a little bit. And I'm like, what's up with that? Like, why are you freaking out if we're just asking? Like, why does Netanyahu feel the need to immediately make comments and release half of a letter that instead of the entire context? And why are people who are very close to Charlie saying that he was afraid for his life because the donors were pulling their funding because he was starting to openly question Israel's actions in Gaza? That does not make me feel good. Now, I'm not saying that Israel was involved in this conspiracy, but I'm saying, like, it's okay to ask questions. We should ask questions. Like, that's exactly what Charlie would do, is ask questions. There's no way he would just accept the government's official narrative.
Tell me about this half-letter thing. Tell me about the half-letter thing, Tom. I haven't heard that story.
So when Netanyahu got on Fox News the day after Kirk's death, he immediately said he was a close and dear friend. Well, actually, I didn't really have lunch with him. My son had lunch with him, but he was a close friend of Israel and a dear friend of Israel. And by the way, he wrote me a letter. And here's a portion of that letter. And he read it, and it was like, I have great love for the nation of Israel. It's a great joy to visit Israel as a Christian. And that's the only portion he read. What he doesn't, and then Netanyahu said, I invited him several months ago to come visit Israel again. And sadly, that visit will never take place. And what Candace and Tucker are saying, as well as some others now who are close to Charlie's orbit, is actually Charlie denied that visit to Israel, said he didn't want any more funding from Israeli donors, because he was not going to be silenced when he said that America has to look for American interests first, and that he questioned the tactics that they were using, especially blowing up the churches and killing of children in Gaza. So whether you agree with that, the fact is that Netanyahu's deceptively pushing a narrative that he and Charlie Kirk were best buds, and Charlie was traditionally in support of Israel, but so was I. Like, everyone on the Republican side always has been, until the last 6 months to a year, where Israel's drug on this specter of October 7th into this long blown out conflict. So whether you agree or disagree with that, it's a fact that Netanyahu's being awfully loud and awfully selective about what he's talking about in public. And it would be like, what if you know, you were God forbid, murdered, Sevan, and then I was like called into the show tomorrow, and I said, you know what, Sevan called me the day before he was murdered and said, I want everyone to donate to Tom Guerin's cause. So go to my, or support my cause or whatever. It's like,
so
dude,
you see
what the hell is that?
You see it as Netanyahu leveraging Charlie's death or murder as a little bit of PR for Israel.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like he just got out there and said Charlie Kirk was a great guy and we're saddened by the news of his loss. He's like doing TV spots talking about how Charlie Kirk was a defender of Israel. And it's like a very political, which is just gross. Like, I don't, you know, so that's weird. There's something up with that. It's kind of my perspective. But yeah, you should, I know you're busy at the moment, but as you follow the fact pattern that Candace is going down, her style and delivery is not necessarily, it's very, you know, harsh and abrasive, but I think she's also like investigating the murder of her friend in real time, which is kind of insane.
Do you think that do you think that her conviction, well, clearly also she knows stuff she's not sharing with us, and I give it, you know what I mean? Like she has to protect her sources, and she knows stuff. Like when she says, "I just have a feeling," like I know she actually has evidence. She doesn't just have a feeling. But do you think that if she were to, that there's any way she could be convinced that she's wrong? I get this feeling from her that she could never, that she's holding on to a bone in her mouth, and no matter how many times we tell her it's a tennis ball, she's never going to look down and see it's a tennis ball if it was. I just get that. I get that. I don't know her well enough or follow her close enough to know, but I just don't see, she's giving me this vibe that she's looking for what she's looking for. And so she's gonna see whatever she wants.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I feel that it's gonna bring way more negativity on her and potentially even like harm to her for these views. So like I think she has.
She said the reason she's not going to the sorry, Sousa.
You're good.
She said the reason she's not going to the memorial service is because everyone is really begging her to go, and she's like, I'm accusing the feds of being involved in a grand conspiracy, and you want me to go in a stadium where the entire federal government will be present at one time with all of their different apparatus. She's like, I'm going to pass. I'm going to call Erica and tell her how I feel and like handle it personally and privately, and we'll pass on going there.
Like
So
she's
she is
afraid. Like she's
definitely
afraid
feeling-
they would kill her there, or put like some sort of spying device on her, or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something. I would guess more of the spying variety, and then maybe a few weeks later she has a car accident kind of situation.
I mean, they can do that. They
inferring.
can do that to her anyway right now. I mean, they can.
No, I agree.
So
I think you're right though that that is the. I try to stay level-headed, but I also think Sousa's correct that I just want to follow the fact pattern. Like I have no problem saying if at the end of this, hey, Candace is coming to the wrong conclusion. But right now, she's the only one who's calling and texting the people who are directly involved in this situation. Like she's in contact with Lance Twiggs' family. She's in touch with Tyler, what's his name's father. That's like some serious investigative work.
Who's Lance Twiggs? Is that the
That's the tranny,
the tranny,
boyfriend.
okay. Hey,
yeah. And so
she also her podcast is absolutely destroying. Like she's getting 5 times the views as the biggest podcast in the world now. Like she's on a roll this week. I mean, this is like, and there's people that there's I was talking to my nephew the other day who's 21 and he's following. I can't believe he's following the story and he's following the Candace Owens. And I was like, holy shit! Like this is also really galvanizing her base and skyrocketing her popularity. And
I think it's because she's the only one who's obviously looking for truth. She's the only one who's doggedly pursuing the truth and not just trying to move on. That's all I feel.
Okay, I like your take on that. Has anyone seen the footage from that back camera? That I don't feel like I've seen that footage.
No. So she claims that she saw some of it privately, that they won't let her share it, that they won't give it her the whole tape. What happened was if you watch the whole podcast from last night, which I know you're in a busy spot right now, that podcast has over 2 million views in like 12 hours. So, yeah, dude,
the first one she did had 1 million views in 1 hour, which was nuts.
Yeah.
But go on. So what did she see?
With the back camera. So Turning Point guy who did not go with him to the hospital because they have a bunch of people there, right? And so there were a couple guys who were like left behind to like figure out what the hell. Yeah. And he said he was worried that the footage would get taken by someone or the camera would get damaged. First of all, he said it was kind of sick. A bunch of people came up and stole all the signed hats that were on the table.
Yeah, I saw footage of that. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, but then he said, so he wanted to get the camera down. So he got up on the chair, got the camera down, took out the SD card and gave it to the FBI. And he was like, I have a copy of the footage, but so they have a copy of the footage. The FBI has the SD card, and Candace apparently has seen certain parts of it, but doesn't have a copy of the whole thing. That's what the story was she had last night.
And now she's asking questions like, where the fuck is the exit wound? She's asking, where's the bullet and where's the exit wound?
Yeah, and apparently they never did an autopsy. which is like
that's
mandatory
that's
in a murder
red flag
case.
for sure. It seems like the whole investigation is completely botched. Like from locking down.
I heard they're planning to announce on
everything.
Monday that they were going to wrap it up. I heard a rumor that they were going to announce that the investigation is over and that, like, Tucker specifically is putting pressure on Cash to not do that.
Damn. 2.5 million views in 16 hours with the last Candace Owens episode.
Candace Owens is speaking the truth, picking apart what the FBI says that happened. What the government is saying happened makes no sense and truly should stand no chance in court. What doesn't make sense that the government is saying happened? Is there anything that stands out?
There's multiple things.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the alleged timeline as laid out by the government is very bizarre. So they're saying he got to campus, he was wearing shorts and a khaki shorts and a red shirt. And they're saying that he then walked and surveilled the campus, looked around, scouted out his position. Then he left the campus, went and changed into jeans and a different shirt, and then came back, parked his car, went upstairs, did the shooting, ran away, jumped off the roof, somehow had the rifle in his hand, even though the video doesn't show him throwing the rifle down or having the rifle with him when he got off the roof, running through the backyards, placing the rifle, which was wrapped in a towel, in the backyard of someone else in the neighborhood, in a weird backyard area that's behind a house that's owned by the university, which sits vacant, by the way. So there's something to dig there as to what's up with that house. And then left, and then the government's official narrative is that Tyler Robinson hung out in his vehicle like a couple blocks away for like 16 hours after the shooting and was trying to go back and retrieve the weapon. So these text messages, which read like really bizarre text messages, the language and the way he's speaking is very bizarre.
He's a very bizarre guy, though, right? He's a very bizarre guy. He's got a little bit of autism. He's not going to speak like a normal person. He's a trippy cat.
I agree. I actually said it sounded legit when I first heard it because my wife said it sounded weird too. And I said, actually, he kind of sounds like people from speech and debate that I knew who like speak in full sentences. It's like a poetry type guy, right? He's like, it's weird. It is weird, but he's weird, like you said. But I think what it's up with those text messages, to be honest, and this is just gut, Sevan, this isn't like going to your question, but my gut is that they planned that text message exchange on purpose to say exactly the information that they wanted to say, which is, oh, my love, you didn't do it, did you? And he goes, yes, I did. You had nothing to do with it. I'm so sorry. Here's exactly how I did it and what I did and where I placed the gun. And, you know, it's like very specific and very specific that I acted alone. And so anyway, the fact that he's not limping when he's running and he supposedly has a gun in his pants, there's some things with the fact pattern that are bizarre. And then, like they said, the exit wound, although some of that is explainable. So when people in the comments are saying the government story makes no sense, there are certain aspects to it that feel less likely, like him hanging around in his car for 16 hours waiting to retrieve the murder weapon. And then being seen at a Dairy Queen, which was 15 minutes away at 6:30 p.m. that night. There's a surveillance video from Dairy
saw that.
Queen.
Yep.
That stuff feels really weird, but it doesn't. I'm not ready to say it makes no sense. But what makes no sense is how they're acting like, oh my gosh, you can't question it. Investigation closed. There's no other shooters. That shit's weird. I have some gut feelings about what it is at the very bottom, but I don't. There's not nearly enough facts to support it.
Do you think he thinks he did it? Do you think he thinks he did it? Do you think that Tyler Robinson?
No, I think that he's confused. To be honest, my gut feeling is that there were some third-party actors who were online people in a Discord chat acting like they were his trainee friends, and then they basically convinced him, hey, all you got to do is put the gun in here, you get the bullets and shit for us together, we'll take care of it, and then you're going to meet us, and here's the plan. I think they set him up, and then I think he doesn't really know what's going on. I think he's confused. I think obviously he's like you said, a little bit of autism and a little bit of
so you think he's just a tool in some sort of psyop?
I think that's I don't have the evidence for that, but yeah, I do genuinely think that that's what it is.
And then who do you think
that's what my predator and recognition says?
And then so you think it was? Do you think that the people who did that to him are a government like Israel or the U.S., or do you think it's some other organization?
I think that I don't know. I have not enough information, but I would say if I were those governments or other organizations, I'd be using several layers of intermediaries, right? It's not like, Benjamin Netanyahu says to his cousin, like, get a gun and go do it. I think they probably are some layers in between that we don't know about.
And let me
that's
ask
where
you,
it starts to feel a little.
let me ask you a hard question then. Let's say it was a government that did it. Do you think that it's the bureaucrats in that government that still are thick in there, or do you think it's the current administrations?
It's a hard question. So you're saying that, do you think that there's independent underlings within the governments that are making those decisions
thousands
without
of
the political
thousands of
leaders?
people who work for 3-letter agencies that we don't even know the names of, that are completely
No, I
fucking
agree.
hidden from
Yeah.
fucking Congress and the US president, and they somehow pulled this off, as opposed to, for all we know, they work for China, and they pulled this off as opposed to someone in the Trump or Netanyahu administration.
Hey, dude, you want to really hear? I think this is part of why they got rid of Elon, because Elon was onto something. The only way to actually audit the federal government is to shut off the payment processor. The only way you figure out who actually works where is to say, you're all fucking fired, show up to work so I can get your ID before you get your next paycheck. And then we figure out who's actually taking what dollar where.
Wow.
And I think he did. I think he went deep enough on that somebody said, you're going to stop that shit right now, little buddy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened.
Wow. You're not going to get a paycheck unless you show up with a government. What do you need me? No, unless you have some valid government. Yeah, that would expose everyone. Even if you're some alien on the payroll, you would need to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
And by alien, I don't mean Latino. I mean, like,
no,
I meant Mars.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think, honestly, Trump doesn't really have the balls for that kind of thing. It's not really what he's made for. I mean, that's like a rare individual that would actually be willing to confront. I mean, I don't know if any of us have it. So it kind of makes you feel a little despondent and a little desperate. You're kind of like, what chance does someone like me have standing up to organizations that don't even exist according to the official record? You know what I mean? But I think that's why people are so a little obsessed with Candace and Tucker and even Megan a little bit recently, because anybody who's willing to just go all out and say what they're finding out truthfully and honestly, that's like, honesty is a very rare commodity these days. So that's what has me interested.
My recollection of what happened with Elon is that there was something in the big beautiful bill he didn't like, and that they didn't fire him, but there was something he didn't like in the big beautiful bill. Trump was suggesting that it was something around kickbacks for buying electric cars, and that's where they had the fight.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, that may be the case, but I think I don't know. I think you have the greatest deal maker in history, the art of the deal. You've got the richest billionaire on the planet who paid to get him elected. It doesn't really seem plausible to me that they couldn't work out some deal that worked for everyone for kickbacks on electric vehicle credits, and that led to him getting a black eye and then being summarily ousted and then accusing him of being in the Epstein files. Seems a little bizarre. I mean, hey, they're bizarre people, but I think that what happened to the fact-finding mission he was on? What happened to send me an email with your top 3 priorities, otherwise you don't get a paycheck?
Hey, well, let me ask you this.
That's what he was really up to.
If the 3 of us and then all the 200 plus people listening in the chat right now, if I decided, hey guys, I'm gonna really help improve our lives, I just need a large portion of your paychecks every single year. And then once you guys gave me all the money, I said, hey, 40%, this massive chunk of it, right? Almost more than half is going to go to a project I got going on. And by the way, you guys don't get to look into the project. You don't get to ask them about where the money goes. I don't have to tell you anything. Like, wouldn't that alone be enough for us to say, hey, we should probably be able to A, look into it because it's being funded with our money, and B, should really understand and know what is happening with that money and where it's going and how it's actually helping us who all threw the money into the pot.
Yeah.
Just take it to the most simplest form.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So if that's the case, then why in the world is the CIA able to have this black budget funded by the U.S. government, which the U.S. government doesn't have
to protect
money?
us?
It's just, Right. And then so that's going back to the Elon thing that you're talking about, Tom, is like I agree is that like if you were going to start to open up the book and go down line item by line item and decide where's this money going, why is it going there, that would be shut down really quickly, because a lot of the funding that goes to these defense budgets or this black budget that the CIA has or all this shit, and they say, well, they're defending us. Okay, well then great, show us. And then if you can't do it right now because there's ongoing investigations, give us the last 10 years. Give us the last 15 years. And it's just interesting that you could have this entity and agency without going into any particular, theory on any of this, just to try to keep it at a surface level. Is I think that they, quote unquote, the deep state, the administration, the government, they love the minutia. Because if we just got down to the core of the matter, it's like, hey, we fund you and we want to know where the money's going. And is it actually protecting our interests? Because that's what we're paying you for. And if you can't answer that question very clearly and show us, that's a major problem. Period.
And that's what Tom is saying. Let's just see.
That's right.
Tom's
like
saying that
theory.
Elon just wanted to start at the bare minimum. Like, hey, how about we just, if you're collecting a paycheck, raise your hand, send an email.
That's right. Because even if you had stuff going on that you said, hey, we can't do right now, it's like, okay, cool. Then give us the receipts from the last 10 years, the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too. Conspiracy or not, I know a lot of people say, oh, you're using they and what have you. There are proven things like the MK Ultra. There's the whole syphilis deal. There is multiple things that we have learned from the Cold War, from the 70s, that the CIA was very heavily involved with, that intentionally ran experiments on the American people and have for a long time. So at what point did we just decide, oh, hey guys, even though the technology advanced far beyond our comprehension, I guarantee you they stopped.
Well, you could even just look at COVID.
Right. So I think it's like when we start going too far down to the minutia points, that's when we get lost in the weeds. And just being able to kind of stay right there for a minute, I think it's almost like a unifying point of a lot of people should be like, hey, yeah, even though I might go down the whole Candace theory of all that or anything else, at some point we should know what these entities are doing. And you can't tell me that we can't figure it out. Because they could come down to me in the IRS, like we just talked about weaponizing the IRS against individuals, but yet who audits the IRS, and yet who audits these black budgets, and we're the ones funding it.
Right.
So at some point, you just got to say like, hey, we just want to make sure that our dollars are actually going to helping the American people, and not going to experiments that are being ran on us against our will.
And everyone's heard the theory that that NASA is just a giant money laundering operation.
I mean, yeah, their CGI images of space are amazing, though.
Hey, let me leave you guys with two things. Number one, the one thing I want to explain about like me and this conspiracy theory is also true of Charlie Kirk, which is I was a mainstream Republican. Like I was not a weirdo conspiracy theorist guy. And I think sometimes maybe like some of you California dudes who are just newcomers to the conservative movement, we love you. We're glad to have you. We appreciate your open-mindedness. I think sometimes it's hard for you to see the criticism of like Trump, for example, or Israel, because you're we've been here. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been on Israel. I've been on Trump.
And you've seen the pattern.
Yeah. So I've been in support of it. And all of a sudden it's like, I wasn't a conspiracy theorist. Their conspiracies made me a conspiracy theorist because I'm watching it happen in real time. Just like COVID. I wasn't anti-vax until they started trying to like mandate that my kids take a shot. I was like, what is a mRNA? And what is like, it happens in real time. It's not me doing it. It's them doing it. So the second thing I have to say, Stefan, because I got to let you go. We're getting ready to go to a football game with the family. I'm sitting here on the farm. Life is good. So in the big picture, when you step back, I just want everyone to know that if Charlie Kirk could leave you one message, if he could really be like, I have 15 seconds to talk to the whole world, it would undeniably be that you are made in the image of God, and that the creator of the universe created you to be exactly how he wanted you to be, that he loves you, and that all of your shortcomings and failures can be forgiven if you just make the choice to follow him and to lay down your life for those around you. And that was the number one thing that he was trying to tell people. I'll catch up with you guys later. Have fun at the event.
Well said, Tom. Thank you.
I want to explain something that Tom just said, that the mechanism for why the newcomers are the way they are. So if I'm driving down the road, I give an analogy. If I'm driving down the road and there's this pothole and it's been there for 10 years and I'm just complaining about it. I'm seeing cars getting flat tires every single day. And then some guy comes along and fills that pothole. I'm all of a sudden so excited and I'm on that guy's team. What Tom is saying is if I understand him correctly, is that, hey, we know you're happy he filled that pothole. Don't think this guy's perfect,
Right.
because over here, because eventually you won't be a single issue guy. Like I'm some pretty single issue things. Like I think the
Right,
Democrats
yeah.
facilitate really bad shit happening to kids, like really, really bad shit happening to kids. And so that's like a huge, that's whether it's the vaccines, the pedophilia, the trannies at the library. Like that makes no sense to me that you don't have Navy SEAL book reading hour, but you have tranny book reading hour at the Berkeley Public Library. It makes no sense, you know? So I'm a single issue guy. What he's saying is we've entered there, we're a single issue guy, and so we want to get behind Trump because he's fixing our issues. But over here,
Yeah.
he's and that's where you bring up the freedom of speech thing. Like we
Right.
want to make sure we know that freedom of speech is the most important thing that we have.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to be on the team, even if they're fixing the pedophilia problem. You don't want to be on the team that eventually makes it where you can't speak out against pedophilia. It's a slippery slope.
And
Is that how you
totally-
understand what he was saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
I
this
agree
is
with
your first rodeo, and you guys are on the team because he fixed your pothole. But don't forget, like, they're
I
not
j-
infallible.
I just have a hard time getting on a team, period. Like, I don't like the two-party system is an amazing psyop. Never meant to be.
It was never meant to be.
Never meant to be.
When did that happen?
So that's a great question. We'll look into that in a minute. But it's like when you think about it, what's the famous line? Divide and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
So there in no world should they be in the United States when you look at the Constitution. What is that put in place for?
To protect your unalienable rights.
From who?
From the government.
And now all of a sudden there's no the people and the government and us protecting our rights. There's our teams.
Oh.
And so then the government gets to do whatever they want. That's why I was saying earlier when I was like, you see somebody like Trump that campaigned, and the pothole analogy I think is great for this because we're like, finally, that dude's going to fix that pothole. People have been swerving, and some people even died because of that pothole. Then he comes by and fixes the pothole. But then really when you zoom out, you're just like, wait a minute, we're still having all the same issues as a country, and things aren't getting better for the people. And government is becoming more and more overreaching in our lives, period. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat this time around. And so I just think that it should, if you were really we were really going after just upholding the Constitution, it should be like, hey, what's serving the people? And how come the government is not serving us anymore? We are serving them. We can't even hold anybody accountable, dude. When was the last time you saw anybody in the government go away in cuffs for anything they've ever done?
The only person I've ever seen, well, there have been some people. I mean, I can think of some people. There was the governor of Illinois who went to jail for something, and there's some people like that. And we saw Melania Trump's panty drawer get raided. But we also did see the craziest thing that we've seen so far. The craziest thing we saw is that they interviewed Biden about his files that he had at his house, and they basically said he had classified documents at his house, but you can't hold this guy accountable because he's too old and senile. And yet he was the sitting president of the United States.
Right.
That shit is.
It's almost like if you just follow
unfathomable.
The rules, you won't be held accountable.
If you follow the rules,
yeah.
I mean,
and then who makes the rules, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. The thing I don't understand in the slightest how people are elected. People can't for some reason get on like every state ballot. I don't understand any of those. I don't understand the mechanism that got us to the two-party system at all. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, well, I would say it's just a consolidation of power, and then you can't just consolidate it to
Was
one
it like
side.
that from the beginning?
No.
Like from when the fifth president was elected?
No. This is saying a two-party system as we know it today is the Democratic and Republican parties evolved over time. The American electoral system, particularly the single-member district rule system, has naturally encouraged the formation of two parties.
Naturally.
Broad-based, making it very difficult for third parties to gain a foothold. That's the issue. So, it's just like business as usual. Just rolls on.
Would you say that Trump is the most
was
the least two-party guy we've had in our lifetime?
I would say at the beginning maybe, but now
I mean, he's more Clinton than he is George Bush.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you have this ebb and flow. It seems like you have the the whole of like, oh, we have this guy that's like for the people and kind of gets it, and then it goes way on the other side where you have a Biden type that was clearly just ran by like his administration. Like we all knew that he was senile, he didn't know what was going on. So then it goes really far back and like, oh wait, we should probably put somebody in there that. And I just think that I just think it flows back and forth like that. Like Elon had it correct in saying it doesn't need to be the way it is. Let's just crack the whole entire thing open, see where all this money's going, start pulling it out of other areas, and then at some point they were like, there's certain areas that he wasn't allowed to look into. That just makes no sense to me. It's our money as the American taxpayer. We're the only producers. Those people are just, and those people I'm talking about, the government and all types of government, they're just handed the money to apparently do the will of the people.
So the government basically prints the monopoly money.
That's right.
Life is just monopoly that we've agreed on is real.
And you can't disagree with it. Why?
Yeah.
Because you're going to get taxed. So like put it this way, take it to a small scale and you tell your boys, hey, I have this money and you guys have to do these chores to earn this money. They say, oh, we would rather not do the chores to earn your money. Well, how do you make them earn your money then? Hey, by the way, boys, at the end of the month, you owe me a little bit for living in the house here.
Oh, right.
And what do you owe me? My money. How do you earn it? Do your chores.
Right.
Now you have incentive to earn the money.
Right. You offer them something.
You offer them something, but then at the same time, you tell them that you're going to take some of it away. That what are you taking away is the thing that you give them. So
Right.
they can't, like, I can't be like, hey, you know what? I have my own money, guys. Like, why don't we just go over here and do this, and you guys could do chores for me? And it's like, no, you can't, because you're inside our, you're confined within our borders.
And that's kind of what the BRIC countries are trying to do.
And Bitcoin is an interesting thing, because if it's not held by any entity that is printing it,
right,
it breaks that system.
Right.
And so that's why I always go back to, like, when you think about things that we don't really think to question, like money is the ultimate control.
Right.
It's the ultimate power. And whoever controls the money has the power.
Right.
But you need actual production of things to happen, for trade to happen, for that money to actually become valuable. Otherwise, you don't have any trade of it back and forth.
Man, you just described a Ponzi scheme.
Weird, right?
Yeah. No one can. We aren't going back to the barter economy.
I'm not saying a barter economy, but what you definitely need is some sort of decentralization of where that money is produced. Because when Congress or when Trump or when anybody who's in the middle administration decides that they're going to print more money and put more money into the system, our money becomes more and more worthless. And that becomes a major issue.
Man, we traversed quite the landscape.
Yeah. Started with Candace Owens.
No, even before then, we started at this First Amendment issue on what happens to Jimmy Kimmel. As a conservative, I'm sick to death of being the only side that gets lectured about infringing free speech. Obama can call Iger to have Roseanne Barr taken off the air, but Trump's FCC chair can't express his opinion in public. Yeah, maybe he can't. Maybe he can't. Free speech is free. The consequences of free speech are not, especially when you work for an employer with a social media clause in your employment contract. Pretty simple concept. ABC made the right call. Here's the ratings for Jimmy Kimmel. I'll pull them up on the screen. You can see he's had a tough since 2013.
Yeah.
The show has declined to basically a shell of what it is. I have to guess that's a really expensive show to
Yes. It wasn't just a convenient time. It's like the ratings are in the tank. It's like they were already unhappy with what was going on. Just dump them.
Yeah, like a convergence of a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
If an employee tells a lie to the customer, the public, the employee can be fired for poor conduct that reflects badly on the company. ABC fired the employee for their conduct. That's not hard to understand. Here's the thing. If it would have happened just like that, I get it. I get what you're saying. But because the guy from the FCC was waving his stick, I agree with Schellenberger. It's got to be looked into. Like, so we need to see. Hey, were any emails sent? Were you guys like, hey, we're gonna fucking And if you were going to pull their license, what were the grounds?
Yeah. And that should just be standard for anything that happens like that when you see a potential overreach of power or something, right? Because I mean, the biggest thing you have to protect is our free speech, freedom of press, those type of things. Because once that goes away, even in the slightest bit for somebody who we disagree with, it's a slippery slope because it's coming to you next. So
Yep,
regardless of we
Eh,
agree with his views or we don't, it needs to be upheld.
And you could say that slippery slope is what was happening to one side is now happening to the other side.
Yes.
That's why we need to stop it. Even though if we're happy that he's gone, if the modality in which they removed him is not something we like, we can't be like, hey, it's never going to happen to us. It is going to happen to us.
Yeah.
And that's what they're learning the hard way now. Here's what it says. It says the rule prohibits broadcast licensees or permittees from broadcasting false information concerning a crime or catastrophe. The licensee knows this information is false. It's foreseeable that the broadcast of information will cause substantial public harm. Broadcast of public information does, in fact, directly cause substantial harm. Here's the thing. I'll tell you a story. My mom had this house, and the neighbor had built a fence across 200 square feet of my mom's property and made it part of their yard. And after 7 years, my mom never said anything. And after 7 years, that property or something like that, there's some law in California that if they fence off your property and you don't say anything within 7 years, it's theirs. They get it. And so that's also the problem. Like this has been going, the precedent has been set.
Mm-hmm.
It's been perfectly okay to lie for
far too long
since the moon landing.
Yeah. It's the moon landing.
He went on national TV and knowingly lied. Yeah, I don't think he did know. I think he's a moron. Do you think he knew?
No, I think he's a useful idiot. I think a lot of them are. I think we are.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know?
Society will dictate what's right and wrong. We don't need the government putting its thumb on the scale. The only answer to bad speech is more speech. Yeah, I'm more along that.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Jefferson, no government should be without critics. If its intentions are good, then it has nothing to fear from criticism. Anyway, it is a shame. I almost feel like the Jimmy Kimmel thing is a distraction from focusing on Charlie.
Yeah.
On what happened there.
Yeah. I always trip out about like there's all these there's only so many like human behaviors or personality types.
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's only so many outcomes. So like humans are just super predictable, right? Like there's and everything goes in this like big cycle.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we think that things go like linear, like, oh, we're in this year and this year and this year, and it's like moving linearly.
Mm-hmm.
And like I the more I like have been thinking about it, I don't think so. I think it's just big cycles and big loops. Because there's only like we're animals. So there's only so many options within our human nature in which we behave.
Right, right.
And there's only so many things that like govern our behavior. So you just see these like big circulatory loops all the time. And it's kind of almost feels like that's why these parties shift sides almost, right? So like the Democrat of the 80s and 90s was very different than the Democrat of today. And it's like it used to be the party of peace and then it's the party of war. And so you just, I don't know. And I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just think there's only so many outcomes that could happen because we only have so many, like there's only so many different behavior patterns within our human nature. So you just see these big looping cycles.
The thing is that the mindset or the ideology stays the same. The modality in which they try to get there differs. So the Democrats during just prior to the Civil War, the South was suggesting that it was inhumane to set the slaves free.
Right.
That they were stupid, and if you set them free, they would die. And that the North was complete savages and animals and didn't care about the blacks because if you set them free, they were going to die.
Under that premise.
They use that it's the same big picture thought process today. We have to give them government money. We have to give them reparations. We have to have different penal systems because they're dumb, and all based on the facade of race.
Right.
No such thing as race, manufactured a bullshit. And so even if it's cyclical in terms of, I don't know what the word is, even though even though I'll start here, even though it's cyclical on the surface, the mindset in which gets you there is still the same. There's this group of people that thinks that you can help people and use that, but they're looking for victims. Basically, they're looking for a fucking victim class at all times.
Yeah,
they don't care about equality. And I don't know if that's because they're stuck in their feelings, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what the mental shift it is, if it's beta brainwaves or gamma brainwaves or alpha. But they're still doing the same thing, even though on the surface it appears that maybe they're doing something different.
You think it's like the need for order? Because you said like the class, like a victim class. Do you think there needs to be, like, that's what's happening? So it's like almost like a subconscious pull to have this order of class, so that way, like, I'm above you, but somebody's above you, and there's like this natural like pecking order.
Well, I'll give you another example. So in India, they have a like official class system.
Yeah.
But in the US, we have a class system, but you have to have a fucking class system. So I turned 16 years old and I have to go get a job at McDonald's. Don't feel sorry for me. I started with a paper route when I'm 12. Then I get a job at McDonald's. Then I see that I learned something while at McDonald's, how to interact with people. And I learned that they're making hamburgers like this. And I get the idea to make hamburgers different. We have a class system, an informal class system that has to be there.
Yeah.
It's who we are. It's like, it's the same thing with like becoming a CrossFit coach, right? You take the 2-day class and then you get better and better through,
you climb the ladder.
You climb the ladder. Same thing with becoming a cop. You become a cop. They say even once you're on the street, it takes 3 years just to be like comfortable on average.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And so this informal class system that we have in the United States I'm perfectly okay with it. I think it's like a necessity. And if you try to raise people up by like giving people reparations or giving people things that they didn't earn, you're going to fuck that whole class system up. And then eventually, like our university system is today, you're going to have a bunch of people who aren't capable at the top.
And it's interesting because when you talk about like a communism or a socialism in terms of like governing a country, one of the things that is part of that premise is getting rid of all the class systems.
Right.
But we know that doesn't work within our biology because a natural class, like a natural system and order will follow. So it's not necessarily that you're trying to get rid of that, because that's kind of just this false premise. What you really want, what you're talking about, is the freedom of mobility within that class system based on individual choice.
Right. Right. And not to disturb the class system, not to poo-poo it.
Because it's just going to be, it just is what it'd be like fighting against the wind or the stars or the sun or the rain. Like it just is.
And everywhere there is socialism and communism, capitalism is there. You'll never get rid of it because it's in our biology. And it will to make something in our biology illegal or view it as corruption is insane. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in a communist society where they're trying to do that, all of a sudden, intel and tattletaling becomes the commodity,
right?
As opposed to bringing fruit to market.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
that's interesting.
It's gross. It's gross. It'll always be there. There'll always be someone who's like, "How can I get ahead? How can I make a little bit more money so that I can buy paint to paint my fence in my communist household? How can I get?" And I have friends in Canada who are wealthy, and they basically said you have to cower and hide your wealth.
Right. Tall poppy syndrome.
Instead of celebrating the people who are successful.
Right. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And the whole living under guilt of your own success is fucking nuts. I mean, you and I know successful people. Do you know any lazy successful people?
I do not. No.
Yeah, me neither.
No. Not lazy successful people, lazy rich people, because they might have inherited that through trust or something. So that the work ethic to get there they didn't experience that, so they don't appreciate it in the same way. But it's also this learned helplessness. Like it's almost like you need to have a system of people that, hey, I know better than you, trust me, and I'm going to defend you. And then that way I'm going, oh, thank you, Sevon, you're my defender. That now it's just like a learned helplessness, right? Like a learned dependency.
Yep.
So it's interesting. I don't know. It's just interesting that how that whole thing works, right?
I'll give you the example in my own life. So in my in my 30s, in my late 20s, and all of my 30s, all I did was work hard. I filmed documentaries in 100 countries. I made TV shows. I learned how to edit. I carried the 100 pounds of gear, 2 carry-ons, 50 pounds each, all over the fucking world. Right?
Yeah.
I filmed. I had cameras. I had cards. I did everything. Now I'm 53, and I can take all of that experience. And now when I go to a Wadapalooza, I'm 53. I can't carry that fucking 60-pound suitcase you carry. I can't carry that fucking 40-pound bag of cables. But I have to figure out other ways to contribute, and it's what I earned
through all that work ahead of time.
through all that work ahead of time.
Yeah.
I have to figure out different ways to participate based on the hard work and knowledge that I was able to acquire in the past.
And that's why when we come with the questions, we come to you, because you're going to be able to best answer those questions, because
this is what it looked.
experience.
Yeah, this is what it looked like.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. You started as a coach, and now there becomes a point where you're like, shit, I can't do this 60 hours a week teaching classes, or I've cut my teeth and now I have some shit to share.
Right.
I know that, like, hey, you have to get there a half hour before all the clients get there.
Yep.
Even if you think you have nothing to do, you better get there a half hour before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Yeah. It is interesting that you're
and
saying
that's that. And that's the class system.
Yeah.
And you want to surround yourself with people who understand that. And who will participate in it.
And there's a big difference between, so to that point, it's like I recently had a couple conversations where people like reached out and they're like, hey, I'm like, I'm starting this podcast, or I'm this amount of episodes in. I just wanted to like have a conversation with you to pick your brain real quick. And at first I think like, man, I hope I have something to offer you now.
Right.
But we have a conversation, I get talking, and I'm like explaining some of these things that are relatively like would seem kind of like the basics of it to me. And they're like, oh my gosh, this was so helpful. I didn't even see it that way. And I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I guess I do have something to offer. Because
you don't even
of
know
all
what
the
you know. Yeah,
experience
you don't even know what you know
that we've had like building this up. And so, yeah, it is interesting. And there's a big difference between somebody reaching out and saying, hey, I have this list of questions for you. Okay. And then at the end of these calls, I'm usually like, all right, cool. So you get to work. Like, let me know how it goes, 30 days, 50 days, whatever it's going to take for you to like actually do that, which is very different than me just giving somebody like a handout too, because now they're dependent on me. These people won't be dependent on me. I've given them some information. With the information I've given them, hopefully that allows them to accelerate a little bit, and then they learn a bunch of other stuff, and then who knows, maybe they come back and they excel above where I am with that information. It wasn't like I just gave it to them. They're not dependent on me for it.
My whole life I was kind of, I had this mindset to avoid suffering at all costs, whether it was to be too hot in a room, whether it was to work hard, like just figure out a way to get from point A to point B. And recently I heard someone saying, yeah, we can all agree that suffering's bad in the world. Now I'm 53 years old, and I'm like, the more suffering you have, the better the human being you are. Avoiding suffering is like avoiding
Suffering.
Yeah, create your own suffering. Make things fucking hard on yourself. Work the long fucking nights. Exercise fucking hard. If you don't do this, and I wish I would have learned it earlier, right? But if you don't do the suffering, you will have no adaptation. You'll have no growth. You'll have no learning. Some people call it sacrifice. I think
No
it's like,
accomplishment.
you'll have no fucking accomplishment. Find something you love and turn it into suffering.
Yeah, I'm not a parent, but maybe that's why people say that most about kids, right? Because if you talk to parents, especially when they're at their most tired or like the kid just went down, you're just gonna get a whole bunch of like negative stuff. And I'll walk away with them being like, wow, maybe I don't want kids. And every single parent ends the thing saying, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
It's the best thing that's ever happened.
Right.
So I listen to it as an outsider that doesn't have kids, and I'm like, why in the world would you subject yourself to that, right? You got this like living thing that's attached to you. You got to care for it all the time. It wakes up with a runny nose. It's going to wake you up. You're going to freak out about it when it's not in your sight, all this other stuff. But then literally every parent ends with like, and it's the most amazing thing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love my kids so much. And so I think right there, that kind of is the proof to the pudding, what you're saying. Like, why would you subject yourself to all that suffering, quote unquote, all that sacrifice, quote unquote, for another human like that, just to turn around and say, like, even though I just kind of vented and complained, a little pressure release valve,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right, because you grow, you become the best person who you can be when you have kids.
Yeah, interesting thought.
Another interesting thing I'll throw in there in terms of I think this ties to the suffering thing is, I hear parents all the time everywhere I go, oh, my kid's complaining he didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do tennis. He didn't want to do jiu-jitsu. We hear it everywhere. And I'm always like, God, I wonder why my kids don't complain. Like I've heard my kids say like twice in 5 years, hey, can we not do jiu-jitsu today? And it's usually like after a tournament or there's some relative visiting from out of town or something like that. And I realized it's become very clear to me, because my kids don't go to school, though all of their activities are social events, no matter what it is. And so they go, and that's the same reason I went to school. I only went to school. I loved going to school every morning, had nothing, just to see my friends.
Yeah, I was the same way.
And so it's like, yeah, if you're in school all day, you have no reason to want to go do 4 hours of jiu-jitsu every day.
No, you've already been.
But if the only girl, if you're a fucking 10-year-old boy and the only girls you're gonna see are in tennis and jiu-jitsu, you're going. You're going.
That's true.
You're like, you're beside yourself. You're so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Caller, hi. This broadcaster has no popping.
Yeah, it's nice. You're gonna have to switch that out and take that.
No pop.
Hey, what's up, brother? Oh, did it just pop? Hello. Hey.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, it is popping. Never mind. It is popping. Hold on, Jeremy.
Wow,
I want to get you a clear.
just
I want to
said
get you a clear line. Hold
And
on.
now it's-
Hold on. I
now
want to
it's
get you a
acting
clear
up.
line. Of course.
You spoke it into existence.
How do they not know that? How does Roadcaster not fix that? Okay, you're on. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry. Go. Oh, I think you're on. Let me see. Yeah, you're on.
Did I break it?
No, you didn't. But they just suck. Go on.
That's wild. I mean, you just bought that one?
Yeah, every
Literally.
single one I had. Yeah, literally. Just Sarah Cox, biomaxpeptides.com got it for us 2 days ago. Another one, our 10th Roadcaster.
Do you think it's your equipment, or do you think it's just every Roadcaster that you get?
It's
jacks
every
up like that?
Roadcaster on every computer. Like it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter. Does yours pop?
Nobody calls me, so
Oh, okay.
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't
I'll
pop?
call you
No,
one
no,
of
no.
these days, stupid.
Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, that's weird that yours doesn't pop.
It doesn't, but
Oh.
I don't use it that often, so maybe I have to do it more, and we'll have malfunction.
Some popping.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jeremy.
To Sousa's point, or to both of your points about suffering, Sousa, name the person. Suffering ceases to become suffering when it finds meaning.
Is that
Oh, that's
Viktor Van
good.
Frankl?
That is Viktor Frankl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
and when
book
you
that
put it
Man Search for Meaning.
Taylor's reading right
Yeah.
now. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, is he reading it? Oh, that's
Yeah.
good choice, Taylor. And when you put it into context of the man who said that, it's not like somebody who had some hardships in life and common hardships that you see in America or wherever, where man they had a rough childhood, and then they, maybe they lost a leg or something like that. Those are tough things, but this man went through the Holocaust, the worst human infliction of pain and everything, depravity that has ever happened. Lost his wife while he was in concentration camps, and through all of that still maintained these types of things and creating space. And when you create space, that's where you find your power, that's where you find your meaning. How is it maybe we've become soft as a society, but we become so soft that internet words, things people say on the internet, and et cetera, cause people such mental devastation? How does that happen to a society? Do you think we can recover from that? And if so, how do we start doing that? How do we recover from where we've fallen?
That's a great.
Can we recover?
Yeah, we definitely can, because going back to like the patterns, I think that everything just kind of like comes in cycles. And so once we actually see the fruit of that labor, like what is that type of quote unquote suffering due to words bring us, eventually you get the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me back in action again. So I just, that's what I think. I think it just all rolls in cycles, and eventually it'll come back, because you have to realize too that like you're only harmed in terms of words or different things like that if you allow it. If you say, okay, I'm offended by this or I'm hurt by this, and now I'm going to dwell on it. If you don't allow it, right? And this is another thing from that book. The crazy part about being a human is we get to choose our attitude in any given circumstance. So regardless of what is happening to us, the stimulus, we still get to choose our response, our attitude. And once people realize that, it actually gives them power. And I think and ultimately, all of us just want control and power over our own lives, over our destinies, over, whatever happens to us. And when people think that they're trying to do that through external things, I'm going to change the way I look, or I'm going to change the way I behave, or, this or that, that leads them down that wrong path of thinking like these external things really matter to me that much internally. And then once you realize it's all internal and you could just choose your attitude at any given circumstance, you could choose the way that you're responding to things, or hey, I don't look the way that I want to, but I could still choose to have a great attitude. More people are going to be attracted to a great attitude and a positive person than they are a good looking one.
Yes.
And like a lot of times people worry about what they contribute, right? And like sometimes people get hung up on this and they're like, and I know I do. It's like, hey, I just want to be able to contribute with the group. I just want to become valuable. And sometimes just your positive, like a positive attitude, and not like fake positivity, but like a positive attitude and like a kind heart, not nice, but kind, being able to deliver the truth, even in a nice, loving way, is the biggest form of contribution. And your attitude is largely affected by that.
Yeah, that's it's always nice when shit's hitting the fan and you have someone who's really calm around. It's nice. The name of the book is Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
I was gonna
Sorry,
say,
come back. You got disconnected. You're
say it
back.
again, Jerry.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, sorry about that. No, you said the name of the book, and I said, yeah, one of the better. If what man or woman, we know it's called Man's Search for Meaning, but man or woman, if you're looking for a really great kind of blueprint of how to just approach your daily life, that's like one of the best books you can read, because again, the context is so important. This man, again, wasn't just having kind of like a hard life or some unfortunate circumstances. I mean, this guy went through, and he details it in the book, he went through hell, and through it all, he's still like, hey, I'm in charge of my attitude. I'm in charge. I have the power, even if in a concentration camp, I still have the power to choose how I'm going to conduct myself, and it's extremely powerful. And I feel like, to your point, Susan, when you're talking about just having like a good attitude and people kind of flock to that, gravitate to that. I think, to tie it in with Charlie Kirk, I think that's the reason he was so likable. Is you can argue, yeah, he put himself in these situations, which also speaks to the point about seeking out uncomfortable things in life, whether it be physical or, in Charlie's case, mental. He put himself in these very tough situations, but at no point did he ever lose composure. At no point did he start name calling or projecting his feelings on other people. He took it and he argued it, and he didn't always look the best, maybe. Actually, maybe you could argue he did look at the end of the day, he did look the best, especially when someone would melt down in front of him. But I think that's what we saw. And that's why I asked, can we come back from it? Because we saw in real time a man that was able to create space, that was very articulate, very smart, didn't lie, wasn't making stuff up. And then you have this intolerant left come and literally silence him. And it's like, dang, dude, like, how do we come back from this as a society? We've gone political violence now used to be burning down buildings and maybe attacking a person. Now it's killing somebody that you don't agree with. How do we come back? And I'll tell you this, the last time that I personally in my life felt this combination of sadness and rage in like a patriotic sort of way was 9/11. I was in high school, and I remember that motivated me to enlist and serve. And this has like woken up something in me. I'm typically I got conservative values, but I'm typically like I'm not going to seek people out to argue with on purpose. I just try to live the values. I try to treat people well. And, raise my kids that way. But I'm typically the guy that people want to confront me about stuff, and I'll just say, hey, I don't want to talk about that, or I'll walk away. Now I'm just like, you know what, let's talk, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to come at me with your stupid ideas, I'll hear you, and then I'm just going to debunk them. And if you get mad, then you get mad. It's woken up something in me, and I think a lot of people that I've been talking to lately, this crazy patriotic, like, we've had enough, and we need to speak out and say something.
And I think let me pose this to you. Rather than debunk and defute and dispute with them, maybe that the answer is all of us don't do that. And if you did look, Charlie Kirk's kind of almost example of it is he tried to find some sort of common ground and then work his way from there. So rather than me saying, hey, it's A, and you're like, no, dude, it's B, like, just be like, tell me about A. And if you think about the way that Charlie debated, he would first do it very stoically in terms of like asking you more questions. So that way it's you determining your own answers, not me trying to prove you wrong. And I know once I start getting into a conversation and I realize I'm trying to be right, the conversation's already lost. And if you're truly trying to like persuade somebody, it's not about me just enforcing my opinion on you so you could see it the way that I see it. It's more so about how do we find that common ground, and how do I keep moving through questions to truly, with a sense of curiosity, not a sense of a gotcha, which is also really hard. And I find myself going into that too sometimes, but like truly curiosity is like, how do you believe what you believe, and how did you get yourself there? Now take me along that path. And you'd be surprised that, and it's Socratic method, but you'd be surprised as you go down that, and as you do that, most people untangle their own stuff without you having to be proving them wrong. And you got to always remember too, especially when it comes to a stranger or even a family member or people close to us, if you win an argument, you gain an enemy.
Suffering ceases to be suffering when it finds meaning. Thank you, Jeremy.
Absolutely. Love you guys. See you later.
Later, dude.
Love you. Bye. Today, the Tier Cup event starts at 11:56 a.m. We will go live at 11 a.m. and preview the event. We will do that upstairs here at the Biomax Peptides Beach House. Then we will watch the show online with the streaming services of the great Charlie Doobie, commentating by Sean Woodland and Chase Ingram. That will be over at 12:46. Then we will go live again and do a post show. And then we will later on head off to the event and do the second show of the day live from the event.
Oh.
And I don't see.
Shout out Heidi's new hair.
I don't see when the second event is.
Isn't the co-ed pairs? Wait. Indie team.
See that Tier Cup is at 11:56?
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be another Tier Cup down here somewhere in the evening?
Yeah, I'm not Huh. Okay.
I don't
Well, let's don't they know we're on the show? Aren't they your friend at all? Why would a person call?
Saturday. Is today Saturday?
Today's Saturday. Man, that thing that I told Jeremy is like something I just have to like. I wish I could just remember that all the freaking time before I talk to somebody. Like I could just have that peace of mind and presence.
Ask questions and know that if you win an argument, you made an enemy.
Like, but not that, but like this truly like not like just get rid of my opinion and actually like just continue down the path of curiosity.
Yeah.
It's so hard because like, especially like depending on the issue, and if it's something that like you feel strongly about, it becomes even tougher because it becomes like this emotional pull to it. But I just feel like you gain so much more out of life if you were just able to like actually do that. And then at some point the person goes, well, like, I don't know, like, what do you think? And then that's them basically saying like, hey, I'm open to having this discussion now. Or I'm open to a different opinion, or I'm open to changing my mind.
Yes. I think I found it. I think the first event in the evening is at 7:35 p.m. So we'll go live also again at like 6:20 p.m. from the venue. Oh man, parking's gonna be a bitch.
Oh yeah. Well, we have that other spot now that Dylan told us about. We just have to walk further.
Oh yeah.
Out of that parking garage.
And we have one less bag to carry.
Yeah, I'm gonna consolidate the shit out of that bag. I'm taking all that stuff out and
The
only bringing what
suitcase?
we need.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard to know. When we go to those setups, it's like, what do we? And you know how it goes. It's like the one time we don't bring the one thing, or I like leave it. It's the one time you need it. So you got to bring all the crap first to run through the test and figure it out, and then we could consolidate down.
Right.
I think we could even ditch those other bags that we carried, pull all the other stuff out of my suitcase, just throw in what we need.
Oh, the
and
headsets.
then just put it just inside the suitcase.
Oh, that's
yeah.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will see you at 11 a.m. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.